2 years ago, 3 years ago, people were going, wow, 3D printing. Now almost everybody knows what 3D printing is. And they're making crazy stuff out of it. I've heard body parts, cells, skins, and all that, and they're starting to create with those. We were talking earlier about Afghanistan. There was a great story somebody told about a guy. Didn't start off well. A big section of his skull was blown away by an IED. But in his flight from Afghanistan to Germany, according to the story, they were able to scan that chunk of skull, send the electronic file back to the United States. Somebody modeled that piece of skull, sent it back to Germany, and they had a 3D printer make the piece of skull, if the story is true, and had it ready for them when the plane landed and replaced it. I thought that was the most awesome story, put everybody else to shame in terms of their little presentations. Because one of them was talking about your World of Warcraft figures. We can, for $1,000, make your World of Warcraft figures so you can put it up on the shelf. Okay, cool story, but not $1,000. I like the Afghanistan story way better. But this technology is running nuts, and solid modeling softwares like SolidWorks are really designed to work hand in hand with those 3D printers. We saw the story about the guy in Texas that was building automatic weapons to kind of prove that the genie's out of the bottle now. You can't regulate fully automatic weapons because he can just send files to people across the country and they can plug them in their 3D printer and they got a gun in a few hours. So, anyway, he got in a little trouble. They took his 3D printer away for doing that. But he made a point of making it very public that he was doing it just to show them, you're kidding yourself if you can stop it now. The world has become a different place. But all of this is well and fine, and I've got everything fully defined as particular sizes, and I'm going to go ahead and just, one last time, save that isometric view of that one. And it comes back, oh, you made some changes to block and pin, both block and pin part. You want to save them all? Yeah, I'm going to leave them with an interfering condition right now and not worry about it. I'm going to close all these files. Yeah, okay, whatever. Come on, stop nagging me and close them. I want to close them. There we go. And I want to build one more thing for you before I send you packing here and let you out of here a good hour early tonight or close to. Okay. What I did so far was not a really complex mechanical part, but I think because of my aerospace/motor racing background that everything's got to be really precise to build in transmissions. I want to see interferences in my transmission or clearances between sliding gears, all that sort of thing. But the beauty of this software is that it's not necessary to be that precise. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to build a sketch on this plane. I'm going to build a spline. Anybody who doesn't know what a spline is, really just kind of, let's just say, a fairly squiggly, almost line, and call it that. And then I'll exit that sketch. I'm going to build what's called a reference plane at the end of that spline. And on that plane, we'll sketch a little circle. And maybe I'll make it just a little bit larger. Not by much. Okay, I've made two sketches now that were no dimensions to them. No, not even a relation to origin. Notice that origin, X, Y, and Z0 is out here. We don't even know how far away that spline is from origin. Makes no difference. SolidWorks doesn't require everything to be, we called it earlier, fully defined. So let's say I take those two bits of information and make what's called a swept boss base. I select the circle as the profile and the spline as the path, and then I make it what's called a thin feature. Give it a little bit of thickness. Now it's a piece of tubing with a really weird bend to it. And let me hide that plane so we can see it a little bit more clearly. All right. Didn't have any real definition to that. If I want to go back in and modify it for its diameter, or maybe more interesting would be to modify that path of that spline. Let's rotate this around just a little bit and flatten that out. Move this point up here. Well, you get the idea. Exit that sketch, and now my piece of tubing follows the new path. Softwares like AutoCAD in particular are not friendly to this at all. They want you to define everything before it'll let you sketch. The CATIAs and ProEs are a little better. I think I find SolidWorks, maybe I'm a little biased because I work with it so much, but a little more user-friendly than the CATIAs and the ProEs. But they'll all do this ultimately, it's all, AutoCAD in particular really has a tough time with this, but what's beautiful about this kind of software in this regard is now, not only can I do those things that I like because I'm a left-brain person, everything's gotta be organized and precise and exact, that's why I became a machinist many, many years ago, really anal about sizes. But let's say I'm designing, I always give this example. This computer printer up here has a casing around it. Say I'm working for the company that makes those printers, and the head designer, he's got an idea in his mind as to what he wants it to look like, but he's not really able to define it or describe it. He'll know it when he sees it. So I start to design this outer casing, and he comes back to me and says, no, it's really too rounded and too spacey looking, I want it a little more squared off. With this type of functionality, I can just drag things around until he says, that's it.